Hello lovely people, it's my day off today and we're snuggled up at home so I can crack your Easter egg with you. For those of you on my email list, you will have had your Easter egg. For those of you that are not on the Kitten and the Goat's email list, I'm afraid you've missed out. I did promote it. You'll have to wait till next year now because Christmas and Easter only go out to my email list. They're not available on the website at all. This Easter, I have made you, it's based on a table setting. I'm not going to talk you through the mats and the egg cozies and the other bits and bobs because it's all stuff you know, it's all stuff you can do. I am going to talk you through the daffodil. I've kind of broken records with this one. Yes, it could be improved. Yes, it's a bit rough and ready. It normally takes me a minimum of 3 months to write a knitting pattern. Testing, working, retesting. I've done this whole series in 3 weeks. And who was it said, I love the sound of a deadline as it whistles past my left ear? Something like that. Well, this is why I'm at home on my day off, getting the video done, putting it together and editing it, because the deadline is scary close. So bear with me. If you're not on the email for the Kitten and the Goat for your knitting patterns, there'll be a link down below. And if you've got your Easter egg with your daffodil in, I'll show you how to make it.
Down a little alley in the heart of Kendal town is a tiny independent yarn shop. Welcome to the wonderful world of the Kitten and the Goat.
We're going to make the base of the flower and the petals in one strip so that the petal spacing is automatically done for us. So I've cast on and I've knitted 2 rows. Now, in order to divide this for the petals, we're going to do a neat little trick along here. We're going to, sorry, I'm in a different place, I can't line up. We're going to knit 3 and we're going to cast off 3. Now when you cast off, it's a different instruction, so you need to do that to get your 1 to cast off, two to cast off, three cast off. Now you're going to knit 1, 2. Now you're going to cast off 3 again. So you need to knit 1 first, and then you can cast that over. One. This really is not the best place to film, but I'm running short of time to get it out for you, so let's just do the best we can. 3. So you've got gaps. See how you've got gaps there? And then we're going to knit 2. So although we're only knitting 2, we've got 1 brought forward. So we've got 3 in every batch. Now we're going to cast off 3 again. One, 2, 3. we're going to knit 2. You can really see the base of the petals forming now. We're going to go back and pick up on these 3 and grow a petal out of it. This end we're going to be casting off 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and knit 2. Okay, so that's what it looks like, stitches and gaps. So I'm going to finish this and then I'm going to set up to work your first petal, and I'll see you in a minute. Now we're going to use each of these 3 stitch sections to knit our petal on, and that way you've got a nice flexible base to angle how you want your flower to look. We're going to change colour to yellow. We're going to knit into the front and then take round and into the back. Then we're going to knit the middle stitch, and then we're going to increase in the last stitch as well. We're going to do this every row because we want this to grow quite quickly, because the petals for daffies are quite broad round the back. So again, we go into the front, take it round, go into the back. There's 2. Knit the ones in the middle, front, back. We're going to keep doing that for a few rows. Then we're going to do a straight piece to get some length on it. Then we're going to shape the point at the top. We're going to shape the point by knitting 2 together at each end every other row, so it's a much more gentle row. Then we're going to cast off there, and we're going to come back and we're going to work on this next set of 3 stitches, and we're going to do exactly the same as that here. Build a petal here. They will all overlap each other, so that when you pull this round, you've got petals that will tuck together like that. Okay, so let's get on with that. Now when you've worked your 8 petals, you will have something like this. You can see how creating that gap lets the petals overlap. Because it's soft, you can stretch them or you can squish them, and you make it sit where you want to. One thing that would be really fun, next Valentine's year pattern, we can make a whole big string of them and we can curl them up to make a... stop it. Okay, so we've got our petals. I get distracted, you see. We've got our petals now. The petals need to wrap around a trumpet. I'm not going to show you how to do this because it's very simple. You know what you're doing. We're going to cast on 10 stitches. You work a few rows straight. That gives you a short piece that's going to wrap around your stem. Then you knit into the front and into the back of every stitch, which gives it that sudden puff out. You've knitted this straight, and then when you come to the cast off, you knit into the front, into the back of every stitch, and then you cast off very, very loosely. It makes this gorgeous frill around the top. Leave a long tail, much longer tail than that, to sew up down along here, and once it settles, this will all frill out and this will puff out for you to wrap your petals round. Okay. Now this part, this stem, I've made in a variegated green. It's called an I-cord. It's a simple way of making a tube without having to join a long, complicated, fiddly side seam. It's quite a nifty little trick, and you think it can't possibly work because it's silly. You cast on, in this case we've got 5 stitches cast on. I put it in a white cotton so you can actually see how it works. Because it's so small and intricate with the fluffy variegated, you don't see what it actually does. So you knit your first row, just as you knit your first row, and then you slide it straight back onto that row. It does get a bit easier, okay? So you haven't turned it round, you've still got your knit side facing you. And then you knit another row. Keep your yarn tight when you're starting at the beginning, but just let it do what it does. Beauty of this, it is all knit, you don't have anything else complicated. So you've got to the end of your second row, so you slip it back onto that side again. The instructions are in the pattern of how to do this, but I find it makes so much difference if you can actually see the work in somebody else's hands. It makes sense because it's not logical to get to the end of that row and then put the work straight back on that needle. There we go. And knit again. You can use it for drawstrings. I've used it for bag handles, little shoulder straps, that type of thing. It's the same as French knitting. You could actually make a big long I-cord and then make something out of the I-cord. See, straight back on there. You do get into a rhythm of it, and once you've got something to hang on to here, it gets easier. And that's it. You just go backwards and forwards along the same piece of knitting. See? And then you put it back again. And it does, it's just starting to go now, it does gradually curl round in on itself and make a tube. Now I put a bit of wire through my tube. You could put a cocktail stick, you could put a plastic straw, a cocktail stick, a barbecue, those things, a barbecue skewer. You can get wooden ones of those, big long ones for the barbecue, that'll do. Mine's got a bit of aluminium jewellery wire in it. Anything to stiffen it, to hold his little head upright. Ah, now there you can really see it starting to form the tube. Where you've pulled it round, it buries itself inside and it makes your I-cord for your stem. So just make that as long as you need to. Doesn't matter, as long as if you're going to put it on a vase, just as long as the vase, or if you're just going to put it on a little short dumpy thing, then you can just put it on a little short dumpy thing. Okay, that's the cord that he's standing on there. Right, next thing. Right, we're just going to go for this. I've made all my bits and pieces for me Daffy. I've never done this before. We're just going to wing it because I'm getting short of time. This is our little trumpet. This is the piece that's going into the flower. This is where I finished. That fans out really nicely. I've sewn down here to come to here. I've put my stalk on a bit of wire because I want to curl it round. I don't have very many vases and I want it to stand up by itself. I put a few stitches on the end so that it doesn't slip off. Now the idea is you put that in there. Yeah, we can put that in as much as we like. Actually, it's quite nice for it to show. Actually, you can't see. Very nice for it to show. And then we're going to sew around here. So we've pulled that tight and we've anchored it in. Go backwards and forwards across as well. We want that really tight and secure across there. It's going to be hidden by a band of petals, so you know, secure is better than neat in this case. I think that's pretty jolly good job done there. Now then, these are the petals. Because we work them individually, but did the band first, we haven't got lots of separate ones to sew together. We can just start at one end. Start at that end, I think. Now, when I looked at daffodils, there were 2 rows of 4 sitting opposite each other. So where we start doesn't matter. I don't particularly want that to show, so I want that to go like that. So you want to aim to sew 1 here, take it round, put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, so you've got 4 crossways, and then with your second ones you want to go in between. There's a dog's playing in the market, bless him. It's not Eddie, he's fast asleep at my feet here. So, because this thing that you've mounted on the petals to is so soft and squishy, you can squish it up or you can pull it out to make your petals fit. So we get 1 there, and then think the next point is going to need to go here. So bring that round. Your next point, think 3, 6, 9 is going to be about there. So we're going to carry on sewing round. I'm going to run out of thread. Just carry on sewing round. You can go backwards and forwards right through everything if you want to, just to make it extra secure. Keep checking the top. See, I need to put more stitches. Mind you, can do that later, can't I, on the second round? Perhaps if I put a pin in it. Scrabble, scrabble. We'll just put a pin there. That's it. And then this one is going to need to sit opposite. Oh yeah, that's a nice shape. That's going to need to sit there. So stitch round to there, and that one fills in there. Oh, that's nice. Do you know you could get away with 3, I think. Just 1 round of 4. When you put your next one, you want to aim to go in between there and there and where are we going? That's there. I think I might pin it. I think we might finish that yarn off there and forget about that. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put some pins in. So that's your 3 o'clock. That needs to stay up at the top there. Yeah, this works. And then this one has to sit opposite. Just make sure you don't get your stem twisted on the way round. That one has to sit there like that. This one comes round and sits opposite that one. This is better. This is better. I can see what I'm doing now. Right. So that's coming in there. Yeah. You see how they sit opposite each? You've got your 12, 3, 6, 9, and they sit opposite each other. And then for your outer layer, you want to aim to get that point. Decide which is going over what. Tuck him in. And that has got to sit in between like that. There. Oh yeah. When it's all finished, you can pull your petal down to shape it. You can pull this trumpet out a bit. It'll be soft to work with. Because this band that it's on is so flexible. The wire's not helping, I have to say. The wire is not helping because it's right in the way of everything. So that one goes there. That one goes there. And this one comes round and sits across there. Now it's all bunched up at the moment, so you can't see it blossom, but there. Your pattern has also got a couple of, well, one, instructions to make some leaves if you want to make some leaves. I ran out of this variegated stuff and it's not around anymore. I did try to make it out of other stuff, but it just looked weird. So I'm going to make it, to see if we can show you. I want to make mine. Can we see that? So that it stands up on its little spike like that, and you get to see your flower. You can put some strands of black or brown, dark orange in here if you want to do the stamens. I'm going to finish it off neatly, and I'm going to get it all ready to put its little photo shoot together. Okay, so I'll talk to you soon. This little video is brought to you as part of our virtual knitting circle. If you join our email list, every month you will get a free knitting pattern pop through your email box. And that's it. You don't have to do any further action. You get a free pattern. I also upload on YouTube a little walkthrough of the pattern, various little tweaks, twiddles and things you might need to know to make it easier for you. And a fortnight later, you get a technique video, usually builds on what we've just made, or it might be I discuss a design feature or something like that, just to build your knowledge bank and help you. If you want to go on and buy the kit, That's fantastic. It's all on the website. We have a website. If you want to buy yarns and wools from us, we'd be exceedingly grateful. We are a tiny little independent knitting shop doing the best to help you knit. See you soon.